Good morning.
Hi, baby girl. How are you doing today?
I am amazing. Thank you for joining us. This is Getting to After. I am Chatone, the Princess of Positivity. I'm here with my beautiful co-host. No, her name is not Vanna White. It is.
Morgan Bustos.
Now listen, today we're going to be talking about something that I think that if you're in midlife, even if you're like 30, you might be 15 and you might be experiencing this. And this is this thing. Now just stay with me for a second. How many times have you walked into a room? I mean, with purpose. I mean, you walked in there quickly. As soon as you got there, now what in the world? You don't want to say it out loud because your kids are laughing at you like, what? You're old, mom. No, you're not old. But this episode is for you. Morgan, let's get into this because if you're having fog, that mental fog at midlife, we want to talk to you about it. All right, so Morgan, today we're talking a lot about, midlife brain fog, struggling to think clearly, trying to remember how many lists do you have? How many sticky notes? I mean, like, do you have a list on your phone? You have a list on your iPad? You got multiple sticky notes on your computer? If so, we welcome you to join our conversation because look, us too. All right, us too. And the thing is, we're going to unpack why some of these things are happening and what can you do about them? Just small little things. We don't want to add more stuff on your plate, but we do want to add a little bit of clarity. Morgan, go ahead and tell me how this is impacting you. And I know we're 10 years apart, but I know it's hitting you. And we're more than 10 years apart. But anyway, I know it's hitting you too. How is this affecting your life lately?
No, well, first of all, like before anybody starts feeling bad, let me just tell you what, like this is normal. Like don't feel bad about this. Like all of us are struggling. You're not lazy, you're not forgetful. It's just there's so much that we're trying to carry as women every day. So we forget these things. Like you said earlier, like when you walk into a room with purpose and you're like, oh my goodness, what was this for? I'm even to the point where I'm like, dude, Sequoia, did I tell you why I came in here? She'll tell you. She's like, no, you didn't. She's like, you said it in your head again, mom. So today we're going
to use your outside voice, Morgan.
Exactly. That's called thinking, not talking. So, it's funny because today, like what we're going to be talking about is just how to incorporate all these different strategies to help you like navigate through that. So like simple things, like tricks that we've learned throughout the years through our different kinds of therapy and modalities, right? So like not only our EFT, but also EMDR and how that can help us clear. I know
juicy stuff, juicy.
But yeah, so like how that can help you be able to navigate through that mental fog that we all deal with.
All right, so this is what it's all about. I mean, do you got mental fog, right? So this midlife time frame is a little maddening. It's a little maddening. You go from being a teenager where you don't want to remember to being in your 20s where you're like, I'm hot, I got everything up here. I can remember everything, everybody's phone number, everybody's job, what everybody's middle name is, and then you can't even remember why you walked into a room. And we keep mentioning that because a lot of times it is about all these things that we have going on. It is a time frame where you could be taking care of young kids, also taking care of older ones, also trying to get in some self-care, doing your daily job, 9 to 5, whatever it may be, and not recognizing that the hormone level is doing this and then doing this. All right. So it's starting to drop. And some of those hormones that you need in order to do things like remember, to stay fit, to stay energetic, they're starting to drop a little bit. All right, so Morgan, the big question is, why is brain fog worse in midlife? Now, I know that for this episode, some of these things we're experts on, some of the things we're not. Let's just be so for real. However, I know you were going to look up some information on the stress hormone, which is something that we do work with our clients on. But why don't you go ahead and bring on home some of this research that you did?
Oh my goodness. Okay, Tone. So through all my studying that I was doing, I found out that cortisol is like a really big factor on our memory. And it's based on having like so much stress level, like your stress level. So when you're juggling a lot of responsibilities, it makes your stress kind of go into like a fight or flight kind of mode, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And cortisol is like down.
So it messes with your ability to focus and to be able to remember things and to be able to stay mentally sharp.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's funny because on all of my Instagram feeds and all of my TikTok feeds and stuff, they're constantly telling me about cortisol. And I'm like, okay, I already know. Okay, stop. Like by you telling me how bad it is, it's making it right. So please stop. I think it's interesting though that this whole thing that we often talk about inside of doing tapping, this idea of fight, flight, fawn, or freeze all
Yeah.
comes together with our hormones, but it's happening on a subconscious level.
Mm.
During perimenopause and menopause, there's all these hormonal shifts that are happening. But then it's worse because what do? Do we sleep enough?
Mhm.
Nah. Do we
Yeah.
allow stress to pile up? Uh-huh. So the brain is like, and I think the kicker is that we pride ourselves on multitask. That's why we have all these lists, because we're trying to remember all these things, and it actually makes the brain work harder. I don't
Mhm.
know about you, but there are times when, actually, I do know about you because I've seen you here in my house, where you're able to completely disconnect, go to sleep and rest for hours, and it's perfect. But
Mhm.
how often does that really happen in midlife?
It
Let's
does.
be, you got
It,
teenage kids, if you
yeah.
got a husband, if you have more than a dog or a cat, you could have a little birdie and you're going to be thinking about something too much. So I think it becomes really hard.
Well, it is because we carry so much. Like you mentioned that, our kids, whether we're taking care of our parents, our work schedules, meals, all of this, it's really a lot for our brain. And you get tired, you get exhausted. And so you just simply feel over this like overwhelming feeling all the time because you're just tired.
Yeah. So for our audience today, we don't want to make you feel bad. All right. If you're in a 40 and above state, there are some answers to this. So we're going to talk about some of the things that we found that we've personally used that are really helpful. We talk about these things often, and we're always going to talk about them because we know that it takes maybe 7 to 10 times of you hearing something before you can actually adopt and take an action. All right. And we want you to do just that. We want you to take an action. Right. So obviously there's some practical things that we can do to kind of clear the mental fog. Now that we know it's there, we know why it's there, and we don't have to feel shame around it. I do think that one of the biggest things, Morgan, that happens is that we feel shame about things that are happening naturally. We feel shame about things that are out of our control.
Hmm.
And even though there are little ways that we can help this, the bottom line is you can't stop Perry from coming. Perry is on its way. Like Perry may be on.
Hello.
Avon calling. Like Perry is in the building, right? And there's nothing we can do about that. However, if you're feeling like you're in a fog, you don't need to do complicated things. There's simple little steps you can take to kind of bring some of the clarity back. Because I don't know, from the very beginning of me coaching, one of the things that I was helping women to do was have their clarity. When you have mental clarity, emotional clarity, financial clarity, you're
Mhm.
able to do so much more for all these people that are on all these lists, including you. So as you listen to us kind of go through these, why don't you give yourself a little grade? Like, it's okay if you fail this particular test. It just lets you know where you need to go from here. But give yourself a little grade. We have 4 things we're going to chat about that we know that have really helped us personally, and some we're still working on. And inside of where we work with you as a coach, these are things that help you to bring the clarity back without the overwhelm. Because I know that I get, messages constantly all the time about how I can make changes in menopause, how I can make changes in perimenopause. And sometimes the list is so long, it's like, I'll just open the door and let it in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's too many steps.
Too much.
It's too hard. All right. So here's the first thing. The first thing is something that we may struggle with, or maybe something that you overload on, and that is movement and hydration. So first, talking about movement, there were so many years where the only thing I really could do was walk.
Mhm.
And I always judged myself. I don't know about you, Morgan, but like I would always judge, like all you're doing is walking, like you're not doing better, bigger exercise.
Like
But
feeling like you should be doing more.
yeah, but the thing is, walking is essential. It's so, so good. That's why you see now people having their like walking pads. They may not have a huge treadmill, but they may have like that walking pad. But going outside, coupling movement with being outside in nature does so much to bring the cortisol down. Again, you can't get rid of it. You need to be able to have fight or flight sometimes. Like
Right.
you don't know when you may need to lift the car. Okay, we don't know about that. But the thing is being able to bring it down and also achieve something for your self-care. Now, you know that I love a good short walk. I've
Mhm.
had issues because of my ankles over the years, but if it's a good day, like if I have even minimal pain, like 50% pain, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to try to do a little bit. When you're sitting all day long and then you're dehydrated. Now, I know, let me not Let me not front. Get a sit, Morgan. Let's mirror it. Let's let them see what it's like. So good, right? I know that you probably are watching this with a cup of coffee in your hand, no diss to you, but also have a cup of water in your hand at the same time. A little short walk, stretching, hydrating makes a huge difference. Now, Morgan, tell me I know how you feel about nature. Talk to me about your favorite experience with just taking a short walk and being outside.
There's this place called Tanglewood Park over here. It's probably about like 45 minutes from where I'm at now, but it is one of my favorite places to go because it has this beautiful lake, and there's a golf course on the back end of it, and there's like stables with horses and the whole shebang, right? And so and on the back side of the lake, or the pond, whatever you call it, there's also like a playground for the kids to play on and whatnot. But I love to take my car up there and just go and park. And sometimes I'll sit in my car, or sometimes I'll walk around the other side of the lake because they have these benches all around it, and just sit. It is so peaceful, and it doesn't matter what time of the year it is. It's
something beautiful.
Well, honey, you get to experience the breeze. You hear the trees, you hear the water rippling, you hear the birds, it doesn't matter. Or if it's in the wintertime, you hear the snow crunching or while you're walking,
well, you're shutting off some of what's going on. You're shutting it down. You're turning it down. It's like turning down the volume on all of the negative thoughts, turning down the volume on all the things you have to do, even if it's 15 minutes. And I remember when you first moved there and you took me there with you on Facebook, you were like, Tone, look, and I haven't yet been able to get there, but I feel like I have been because you have talked about it so much. So y'all, where's that place? Where's your Tanglewood Park? Like, where's your Tanglewood Park? Where's your park bench? I, for myself, there's a small park here. It's called Cedar Park. It's not even a big deal. It's really mostly like baseball diamonds, but it's so close to my house that it's a place that I go. I specifically go there when I'm talking to my mom on the phone. And sometimes I'm getting like really stressed because I'm thinking, I really wish I was in Florida with her right now. I wish I could, do whatever she needs to right now. It stresses me out so much. I want to give her, but at the same time, I do kind of feel that freeze response when I'm talking to her because I'm like, I can't do anything. And so often I'd be talking to her. And again, this is a midlife thing. And I could feel the stress rising. I could feel that pit in my stomach because I'm like, I'm inert right now. I can't help her. And so by me taking my car when I'm talking to her, I like to talk to my mom on the phone, on my cell phone when I'm in my car because it's peaceful. I go over there and I do it in the park. And that has really helped me a lot because I do have my windows down. I do hear the birds. She hears them too. Yes. She likes to go outside a lot, right? And she's like, where are you? I'm like, I'm at the park, Mama, And so it's kind of neat, even though we're not always on FaceTime. It's a very nice way to get some of that feeling down while dealing with something difficult. So that's something that to me is something that works as well. It's like you're getting your movement in, or you're moving your body to some place that's going to give you that little ease. I always have water or something with me while I'm doing that as well, because when your brain is going through a lot of stress, your body is burning. It's like churning. And so having that water with you is always important. For me, it's cold water. Big Sissy, my sister, it's got to be lukewarm. I don't know how she does it. Are you a cold girl or not? I don't remember.
I'm not a cold girl. But I don't want it like lukewarm either. It has to be in between, like a little brisk and not like, when it's so cold, you can feel it going down into your tummy. Yeah, I don't want that either.
Yes, that's exactly what I want. I want the ice to the top. I want the ice to congeal. I want an iceberg in my water bottle. An iceberg. I want the Titanic to be going on Rose. I want him to be called Rose inside my water bottle. Never let you go. Anyway, we digress. All right. So now some of the things that may be more challenging, you may have to even go to your doctor or your nutritionist and find out what you need, are finding out what nutrient support you need. For me, I've got severe situations with the whole IBS situation. My thyroid is off the chart. And so for me, some of the things that I personally have used, but I've found through my research are good for most women during midlife or even before that, omega-3s, right? Getting in the right oils. B3, which is great for stress, all those B vitamins. Please make sure you're getting vitamin D. Now, I have to put a disclaimer. I'm not a medical professional, so check with a medical professional before taking any new nutritional support. But these are things that your doctor is not going to tell you not to do unless you have an allergy. Also, magnesium. Woo, magnesium. Now, magnesium, girl, I get chills behind some magnesium. If
Mhm.
I miss a day, I'm not nice.
It's
My
powerful.
joints aren't fun. And
Mhm.
the bowel is like, you called? We're not answering. It's just like, no one's home, so, but find out which magnesium you need because there's so many that do different things. And if you don't do the research ahead of time or talk to your nutritionist, you maybe didn't, overdosing on the wrong one, the one that's not going to give you what you need. For me, having these vitamins and nutritional supplements that help my brain function better, but also help my stress has really made a big difference in my life. Hormonal shifts are happening. You're going to have hormonal shifts as a teenager, right? You're going to have them as a mom or as a pregnant woman. Then you're going to have them as they start to lower, but it doesn't mean you have to give up altogether. I do know that when I went to my doctor back in August, I said, these are the things I'm experiencing. You know how I feel about drugs. I'm willing to take the drugs for my thyroid. I'm willing to take the drugs for my high blood pressure. But other than that, I'd like you to help me to balance off with supplements, vitamins, minerals, because I ain't trying to take all that meds. And she was willing to do that with me, and I know that, Morgan, you are a person that have always been into natural things. Like you tried to have me take some stuff. I was like, no, Morgan, I don't. I'm not
Well,
swallowing that, Morgan. That doesn't taste good, Morgan. I'm not doing that.
you learn to like avoid the like not worry about the flavor after a while.
Well,
But
I do that, but sometimes I was like, it's also ugly, Morgan.
what
It's
color is this
also
one?
like too green and too thick, Morgan.
That has spinach and kale and apples and like a whole bunch of other nummy stuff
I'd
going
rather
on.
have a salad, but go ahead with all those
Okay.
things in it. But go ahead.
You know what else was good too? Like I remember like a lot of times I'd take when that specific time you were talking about, I was also taking a lot of B complex
Mm-hmm.
and then also the vitamin D, vitamin K.
Yes.
Something, oh, my friend Diana, she is amazing. She introduced me to something called niacinamide, and that really helps with your focus and your brain function also, and also your stress level. So between the B complex and the niacinamide, that really helped my stress level go down.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoyed that.
So I mean,
But
oh, go ahead.
oh, no, no, no. So it just depends on, like you said, you have to talk to your doctor and see what works best for you. But like those are some things that really worked for me. And along with that too, you know what else I really like doing?
Well,
I love journaling.
I know.
I absolutely love journaling, Tone.
So
Because being able to do like that mental like brain dump. When you first told me about that, I was like, okay, this isn't really doing anything for me. And then I got
look, I'm gonna just hold it up. I'm just hold it up.
amazing book, y'all. That book is phenomenal. Absolutely amazing. But no, seriously, like when you take the minute, there's something about going from your head, from your heart, and to your hand on the paper and writing everything out. And I remember what I would do in the beginning. I originally would write out in like really, really detailed stuff. Really,
Right.
really detailed. And so it looked like I was writing out a story. And then I got to the point where it was just like bullet points of like sporadic things that would pop into my head.
Yeah.
And I found when I did it that way, it actually released a lot more. And I would give myself like a time limit, like 5 minutes.
Time limit is so critical.
Huge, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise it would go on and on and on and on. And then I would find that sometimes I wouldn't want to do it again because it took so long.
Or
So if
even
you can,
worse.
Mhm.
Like it goes from being, where you saw where it's helpful to and being able to release it to getting bogged down in it and feeling like chained to it. And
Mhm.
that's not good. The whole point is not to create more overwhelm, but to just see little ways of releasing. So I do like the bullet items as you're mentioning.
Yeah, and just decluttering your thoughts, like quick and easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? The other thing that I appreciated too was screen detail. What? Why are you laughing? Why do you laugh at me? Guys,
You like to get away with saying stuff like that. I cannot get away with saying things like that. But continue.
the other thing we talked about on one of our other podcasts too was like screen detox, like intentional rest. Remember how we were talking about how I accidentally left my phone on do not disturb? Accidentally? No, I really did actually that time. And I was blown away
Yeah.
at how good I felt because I was sitting in my bed, dude, and I'm like, what is this feeling of
Yeah.
peace? calmness. Like my phone wasn't blowing up, my alarms weren't
Yeah.
going off, my alerts weren't going off. And it does so much for your nervous system to disconnect. So
Yeah.
think about it, dude. Like if you take disconnecting from your phone and then also journaling. And then, like you said, adding in your vitamins, but then also going for a walk outside. What if you took your happy little vitamins, went for a walk outside to your favorite place, started journaling, and turned off your phone so you could just be present in the moment? Can you imagine how powerful that is? You're completely just being
Yeah.
submerged in that
Yes.
moment in time.
Yeah.
And just such a beautiful moment.
And I think we're talking about mental fog and finding clarity. Again, we can't turn off everything, meaning we can't shut down things that are happening on the inside of our body. We
Mhm.
can through tapping, and I know you're going to talk about another modality in just a moment. We can through tapping basically talk to our body. We can explain to our body what we accept and what we want to release, and we can work on that. But you have to start somewhere. First of
Mhm.
all, that journaling time, that's time that you've set aside for yourself. It's you got to set the time aside, taking
Mhm.
that little brief walk, getting that movement in, even so much as going and saying, right now my bottle is probably here. Okay, it's morning, but my bottle is here. Going, taking the time to first of all use the bathroom, because if you're drinking all this water and you're holding it, not good for the body. That's another thing. We didn't even go there, but it happens in middle. I can hold. No, you can't.
Oh,
Stop. Okay, use the
it's not
bathroom.
selfish to have to go to the bathroom.
Good for you. And then taking the time to fill it back up again so that you can drink. Now, I know I've seen these bottles where they have like these notes, motivational notes all the way through the bottle. I think that's really cute. But for me, it's going to always be pink all day. And I know it's going to be purple and sparkly. That
Yes.
makes us feel good. Whatever it is that makes you feel wanting to do it, it could also be your skin clearing up. Give
Mhm.
yourself an external motivation. It could be how your skin feels. It could be how your nails feel. It could be when you're outside and you're getting that vitamin D. It could be that little internal glow that you get, but also that little external tan that you're getting. And yes, Black girls do tan just a little bit, okay? The undertone goes up when we out in the vitamin D. Whatever it is that makes you want to do it, realize that over a course of time, and you can journal this so that you can journal your progress, you're going to find that you feel less fight or flight. You're going to feel that you feel less stress. You're going to feel that you feel a little bit less of that. What? Because you're actually giving your brain what it needs. What your brain needs, if you constantly walk into a room, don't know why you're there, a nap. Like your brain is like, can someone just please shut down for just a, can a girl get a nap? Right? That's what your brain is asking for. It's asking for a little nap. We're gonna have to tell you that over the weekends, I overdid it. Like I did too much.
What'd you
And
do, Sam?
just too much.
Mm.
Like just too much. And a
Mhm.
lot of it was anxiety. A lot of things went on with the family, just a lot of things like that. And then I'm trying to I'm trying to fix things. I'm trying to make everyone nice and all that. And I was so tired yesterday that I took a nap in the afternoon and I could not get up. I just couldn't get up. And it happened to me a couple days ago on Friday as well. I just couldn't get up. I was just like, I am so tired that I do not want to get up at all, period. And you know what I did?
What, baby?
I didn't get up. I
Now, you
just,
guys, I don't know if you know Chatone or not, but that is unheard of. This woman goes nonstop all the time for her. So for you to say you stayed in bed, good. Your body needed it.
I said, it is enough. And every
Yeah.
time I went to get up, I felt like my heart was racing. I said, you know what? The cortisol is probably up to my eyeball lids. And I said, it is enough. I've got to give my body what it needs. So, all the things we've talked about work, but also intentional rest is one of the most important ones. If you don't have intentional rest, I'm not saying sleep all day, but intentional rest, you won't have the energy to do the other things. Because believe it or not, even though you're doing things like a screen detox or you're doing something like journaling, there is work going on, especially if you normally tethered to your phone. Now you're going to turn it off. Your brain back here is still saying, where's the phone? Where's the phone? Where's the phone? What notification? What notification? Like, it's going to take a minute before you get used to doing that. So while I love all of these things, I think that one of the things that acknowledging for me that my stress that helps me shift into a clearer mindset is
Mhm.
just is saying to myself, I do not have to push through. I
Ooh,
don't. don't have to push through. It's like when you walk up to a door and you know one side says pull and one side says push. And you're not really sure. Well, what's really going to? Have you ever that happened to you? Walk into a restaurant, walk into a store,
Yeah.
and it's saying push, and you're busy pulling, and you're like, "What's wrong with this daggone door? I don't want." You're not paying attention, babe. You're
Yep.
not listening. Okay, but
Mhm.
there are times when you're confronted with that, and you have to say, "I don't have to push through this anymore." One of the easiest ways of doing this, of getting to that moment, is just saying, "Right now, I'm going to ground."
Yeah.
And we are going to do a little grounding right now. I know, Morgan, that I know you start your day with a little grounding, a little breathing. It makes such a big difference when you do it. But
Mhm.
remember that you can do this at any time of day, and it doesn't have to be long. I don't know how long this one is, Morgan, because I never know what you're going to give us. But we're going to go ahead and do some grounding. And before we get into some tapping, we're going to go ahead and clear some of this idea of the mental fog and some of how it feels for us when we have that. Maybe there's a little guilt. Maybe like, am I going to end up like my grandmother? Am I going to start forgetting stuff? Am I going to get dementia? Like, let's quiet the mind down a little bit. Then we're going to grab some tapping. How would you like to do that for me, Morgan?
Oh, darling, you know it. Let's do it.
All right.
So before we even get into this next part of the conversation, we're going to go ahead. We're just going to take a moment to pause. We're going to clear a little bit of space mentally and emotionally for ourselves. So if you're able to, place both feet on the ground, put on the floor. If you can, take off your shoes so you can feel the floor beneath you and let yourself just notice how it's holding you up without needing it to do anything at all, okay? So we're going to start off, honey, by taking a slow, deep breath in, and then we're going to exhale it all the way out, okay? So in and out. Now roll your shoulders gently back and forth, up and down in a circle. We're just going to try to loosen up our shoulders, relax our necks a little bit. And through this, we're going to be able to just release the tension in our neck. Maybe take your hands, rub them together a little bit, feel the tension, feel the heat in your hands, rubbing them together. Now we're going to rest our hands over our heart, wherever it feels comfortable, and also over your stomach. We're just going to put it on our hands and our stomach, and we're going to allow ourselves to feel safe in this moment. We're going to take another deep breath in, and down your exhale, imagine releasing any tension that's gathered in your neck, your jaw, or even in your forehead. If any thoughts come in, that's okay. Just let them pass like a nice cool breeze. You don't have to chase them or fix them. It just simply is what it is. Now, say to yourself, this moment is for me. Take one last full breath in, my love. And we're going to exhale all the way out. Now, with more grounded energy, let's go ahead and continue our conversation and receive what's next. With love and compassion, Chatone, I welcome you back to this conversation.
Thank you.
You're welcome, baby. Feels good, doesn't it?
So good. So good. And I have to be honest, I don't always take off my shoes, even though you tell me to take off my shoes, because, I have this crazy ankle, and oftentimes I'm in my house sneakers, right? And so they are tied up, and so I don't want to do all the untying. But today I'm wearing, I got to show you, because these are so cute, and my daughter got them for me. They're just adorable. They're just
Yes.
so cute. They got the little fashion situation going. I think she got them from
They
TikTok.
sparkle?
Is that cute?
That's adorable.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that for us. Let me put up our link in case you would like to try some of this with either one of us or both. You can get a personal session with us at bit.ly/tap-chat. It is such a being grounded, physically being grounded is pretty powerful. It is very important to try to do this at least once a day, if not every other day, because dispelling electromagnetics, dispelling some of this stuff. It's kind of hard to do in front of a computer, but if you can go outside, if you can take this podcast in your headphone outside and put your feet on the ground, most places in the country, it's probably warm enough to do that just now. Put your feet on the ground, no socks, like outside on the ground. you will not believe it. And if you can do it in the sunshine, there's a little breeze outside, it's so good. It's so good. And I gotta tell you, Morgan, it's funny. Back in the day before I knew about any of this, I think the kids were probably, Levi were probably like one, maybe actually, yeah, maybe he was like 1 year old in my other house. And I would have these really crazy conference calls all day long. I was on conference calls all day long, all day long, all day long. And at that time, we had a nanny who came every day. And so she'd be in the basement with Levi, and or maybe he was 2. I don't remember. But I can remember being between calls and being so stressed and so knotted up that my hands were basically like my nails going, like I was so stressed all the time. I had to do the most, at my job. But then I was also home and I could hear him downstairs. So it was so hard not to just want to go downstairs every time he cried. We had an amazing nanny. Shout out to you, Leah. But wanting to go downstairs and see what was going on, but needing to be 100% present. And then as soon as work was over, immediately, like there's something kind of cool if your kid is in daycare and you have the little commute to kind of decompress from the day, then get there and be a mommy. No, it was instant. It was like as soon as work was over, like you got the baby again. I used to go out during the day during conference calls. I didn't know that I was grounding. I didn't know. And I used to sit on my driveway, literally sit on my drive without my son, without anyone. I'd listen to music or something. And I would just do that for about 10 minutes between conference calls. Who knew that I was grounding? Literally, because I had my whole rump on the ground outside. And I know my neighbors probably thought I was a weirdo, but it was instinctive. Get rid of some of all of this that I'm dealing with. And it was always good for me to go back and bring my best self to the next call because I was on calls all day.
But Chatone, like, when did it become weird to go and sit outside?
It did. I know. It did.
All we were kids. We were
of course
playing on the ground, sitting in the grass, rolling around. But I love that you did that so that you could go back and be present when you had to go back in there.
Yeah. And I just thought about that. I remember doing that often. A couple times a week I would do that. And sometimes I would really up it a notch. My ankles were good back then. I would go jump rope in the driveway. Like
really?
just 40 years old, just jump a rope in the driveway. Because my heart rate went up. I got a little exercise in. And I will tell you the other secret, which I am not advocating this to get rid of your mental fog. But I used to do like 3 quick, the fastest games of bowling on the Wii. Now, let me tell you something. I am a Wii bowler. Okay, like back in the day, like Wii, all right? I would get a strike every time. And they laughed at me because I used to run through the house, like really running around and then throw that. Like, it's a wonder I have any wrist left at all because I didn't have a ball in my hand, but you would have thought I did. And this is what I would do in between. I believe that brought me back to my best game. Not my bowling game. That brought me back to my best game at work. I had to release some of the madness. If you're between conference calls, even this morning while you're listening to this, or you're between, maybe you're a teacher, you're between parent-teacher conferences, or you're between classes, maybe you're a college student, you listen to us, you're like, Mom told you to listen to us. You may be between class or between exams. Find a way to release some of this so that you can bring your whole full brain to the game. Because if you don't, you will not. You'll never be bringing your full self to the game. And the answer is not, let me decompress by doing this.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I wish I could tell you something different, but I cannot. Morgan, let's get into a little tapping.
Okay.
We're all released. We're all ready to go. Let's get ourselves into some tapping. I am going to lead us. Thank you for grounding me and getting me all ready.
Yes.
Today, we're going to be talking about this idea, and our tapping today is really about how to clear some of the mental fog without having the overwhelm, without feeling like you're so behind, without feeling like you're not enough, without feeling like, all the judgments that we give ourselves when things are going a little bit awry. Leave all that at the door. Okay, leave that at the door. We're going to tap into a new feeling, pun intended. We're going to tap into something new. We want you to tap literally into feeling a little bit better about these natural changes and realize that if you can't beat them, join them, but join them with some tapping. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we are tapping for clarity. We're tapping to release ourselves of feeling the kind of weirdness around having midlife mental fog. And maybe this is not something that you necessarily have put a name to. Maybe you haven't given voice to it, But if you're in your 40s and above, it's happened. And maybe what's happened is that you start to think about your mom or your grandmother. You start to kind of catastrophize. What does it mean for you? Oh, I'm going to be like someone who forgets everything. Or, what if I start dropping all the balls? So start to think right now about like giving yourself a grade, almost a level of where are you at on a scale of 0 to 10? Are you feeling like an 8 about this? You have a lot of concern, a lot of worry about this, something that comes up in your mind often, or maybe it's a lower number. Our whole entire goal is not to change your life in this one session of EFT, but it's to help you to acknowledge that something may be there that is something you're carrying. We want to help you to release it. So the first thing we're going to do, and Morgan's going to demonstrate, is this tap on the side of your hands. You can use like these 3 fingers. You don't have to tap hard. This is the karate chop point. And this is where we're always going to start tapping from. So as we tap on the side of the hand, you can repeat after me, or you can say it in your mind. It's fine. Even though my mind feels foggy.
Even though my mind feels foggy.
And I'm tired of trying to push through.
And I'm tired of trying to push through.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I acknowledge the weight I've been carrying.
I acknowledge the weight I've been carrying.
I honor myself for showing up.
And I honor myself for showing up.
Even though I keep forgetting things and I feel guilty.
Even though I keep forgetting things and I feel really guilty.
I'm not as sharp as I used to be.
I'm not as sharp as I used to be.
It scares me.
It scares me.
I choose to be kind to myself.
I choose to be kind to myself.
This period of my life does not define the whole me.
This period of my life doesn't define me.
I'm still me.
I'm still me.
And I'm worthy of patience, grace, and love.
And I'm worthy of patience, grace, and love.
And even though many days my mind feels scattered.
And even though many days my mind feels really scattered.
And I keep blaming myself for dropping the ball.
And I keep blaming myself for dropping the ball.
My kids blame me for dropping the ball.
My kids blame me for dropping the ball.
And sometimes my spouse or other family members do too.
And sometimes my spouse and other family members do too.
I honor the woman I am today.
I honor the woman I am today.
I've carried so much.
I've carried so much.
And still I rise.
And still I rise.
I'm allowed to be human.
I'm allowed to be human.
And I love and accept myself through it all.
And I love and accept myself through it all.
Okay. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Release it. And we're going to start at our eyebrow point. My brain feels heavy.
My brain feels heavy.
Side of eye. I'm carrying too much in my head.
I'm carrying too much in my head.
Under eye. I can't seem to focus like I used to.
I can't seem to focus like I used to.
Under nose. It's frustrating and overwhelming.
It's really frustrating and overwhelming.
Jen, I feel like I should be able to do this better.
I feel like I should be able to do this better.
Collarbone. But I'm exhausted.
But I am exhausted.
And it's okay to say that.
And it's okay to say that.
Underarm. I've been doing a lot for a long time.
I've been doing a lot for a long time.
Top of head, and it's starting to catch up with me.
And it's starting to catch up with me.
Let's release some of the pressure. Eyebrow point. I release the pressure to be perfectly sharp every day.
I release the pressure to be perfectly sharp every day.
Side of eye. I release the shame about needing to rest.
I release the shame about needing to rest.
Under eye. I release the old story that this fog means I'm failing.
I release the old story that this fog means I'm failing.
Under nose. I release the belief that I have to push through everything no matter what.
I release the belief that I have to push through everything no matter what.
Chin. I am more than productivity.
I am more than productivity.
Collarbone. I let go of guilt for needing time and space for me.
I let go of guilt for needing time and space for me.
Underarm. I release the clutter in my mind piece by piece.
I release the clutter in my mind piece by piece.
Top of head. It's safe to slow down and reset.
It's safe to slow down and reset.
All right, we're going to do 2 more sets here. Take a deep breath in now. Release that. Eyebrow point. I give myself permission to clear space in my mind.
I give myself I give myself permission to clear space in my mind.
Side of eye. I'm creating room for calm and clarity.
I'm creating room for calm and clarity.
Under eye. I can find small ways to focus, kind ways.
I can find small ways to focus, kind ways.
Under nose. I trust my body to bring me back to balance.
I trust my body to bring me back to balance.
Chin. Every breath is a chance to reset.
Every breath is a chance to reset.
Yeah. Collarbone. My brain deserves nourishment and peace.
My brain deserves nourishment and peace.
Underarm. I allow clarity to return.
I allow clarity to return.
Gently and in its own time.
And gently and it's in its own time.
Top of head. I welcome clear thoughts.
I welcome clear thoughts.
I welcome peaceful energy.
I welcome peaceful energy.
Eyebrow. I am grounded, focused, and steady.
I am grounded, focused, and steady.
Side of eye. I have everything I need within me.
I have everything I need within me.
Under eye. My clarity is returning.
My clarity is returning.
Under nose. I am present in this moment.
I am present in this moment.
Chin. I'm allowed to think slower, softer, and clearer.
I'm allowed to think slower, softer, and clearer.
Yeah. Collarbone. I honor my pace and protect my peace.
I honor my peace and I protect my peace.
Yeah. Underarm. I feel more clear already.
I feel more clearer already.
Top of head. I am capable, calm, and returning to myself.
I am capable, calm, and returning to myself.
Take a deep breath in. We're going to do some affirmations now. Exhale slowly. I am not behind. I am not broken.
I am not broken.
I'm simply processing.
I'm simply processing.
I release the fog and welcome clarity.
I release the fog and welcome clarity.
I allow myself to be human and whole.
I allow myself to be human and whole.
I give myself grace for how I've handled everything so far.
I give myself grace for how I've handled everything so far.
That's a good one, right? I trust my clarity is coming back.
I trust my clarity is coming back.
Exactly what I need.
Exactly what I need.
Moment by moment.
Moment by moment.
Take one more cleansing breath in through your nose. You may want to stretch. Let it out. Y'all, come back to this one. I wrote it and it was good to me. Listen. How'd that feel, Morganne?
Every time we do these, I'm always impressed with how I feel when we're done with it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, I'm a pretty steady person, but when we're done with it, the amount of clarity and calmness that comes over my body, it's just, there's so much peace in it. You know, I just always feel so much happier after I'm done.
And I would really suggest if you do some tapping with us like this, drink some water afterwards. Like, don't do tapping and drink coffee while you're doing it. Like, definitely hydrate and allow yourself to move afterwards. I felt an instinctive need to stretch after this. During that particular tapping, even though I was leading the tapping, all sorts of things were going on in my body. My stomach was releasing stuff, you know, like my body, I was getting chills. Like, my body is, sometimes your body will tell you what it needs if you take the time to talk to it. So when you're talking, when you're using the tapping, when you're repeating after us, repeating, you will feel things in your body. That's your body's response. That's your nervous system saying, well, thank you.
Yep.
I appreciate you so much. It's like, good job.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like we've been waiting for this. So don't dismiss these moments we give you because they really are super powerful.
That's so true, you know, because honestly, you guys, brain fog, it happens, but you're not stuck in it. You just have to find different ways to like figure out how to work through everything. And maybe it's moving your body, maybe it's using tapping, maybe it's going for a walk, maybe it's journaling, or even it could be something as just setting boundaries on your time. All those things can be helpful
Oof,
for
it's a big one.
you.
But
Mhm.
listen, if you're ever feeling overwhelmed, you want to try this. We gave you a lot of strategies today. They were micro strategies. Like you don't have to reinvent the entire wheel. Pick
Mhm.
one. Like we're not saying pick all the ones we gave you. Pick one from today's episode and try it for a week. Just one. Maybe that's increasing your hydration. Maybe
Yep.
that's moving more. Maybe that's finding your personal Tanglewood Park. Like
Mhm.
find one and definitely come on back and let us know how's this working. Like what did it feel like? We put our link up again. If you want to reach out to us, you can always do so by coming to our link here. But think about what does it mean to you to do just one thing?
Mhm.
Sometimes if someone gives you 10 strategies, that's overwhelming. But one, come
Mhm.
on, ladies, I think you can do just one. We'd love to hear what difference it brings to you, or if you did this tapping with us. It did a lot for me today, a whole lot. So I needed it. And I'll be myself revisiting it again. We do go back and listen to our own tappings that we've created for you and do them ourselves because it's a lot easier for me to listen to myself doing tapping than me to have to like think of all the things myself while I'm doing tapping. It's a
Yeah.
lot easier for me to listen. So you can always go back and listen. And Morgan has specifically, because she's so loving, specifically asked me to create a playlist of all of our tappings that we've done, all of our tapping transformations. So that will be coming sometime in the next few weeks where you'll be able to see some of that on YouTube, but also we're going to give you a link so that you can jump in to our system and be able to get some of these. So you'll be able to subscribe to them. It's coming. You see how big her smile is?
I'm so excited about that. I have no idea.
All the pink, right? I didn't tell her. All right. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you
Well,
want to feel this way all the time, definitely hit us up.
well, it's and tag us, message us, let us know what like is working for you so that we can that's like put that in, ingrain that into some of our teaching style too. That we'd love to hear
Yes.
from you. That
Yeah.
way we can do it all together.
All right. So listen, if somehow this morning you forgot why you even clicked on this link, aren't you glad you did?
Aren't
You
you?
probably don't remember why you did, but now aren't you glad? Aren't you happy?
Yep.
We will see you next time. Do
Mm.
not forget that you can release your negativity so your positivity can reign in your brain, in your business, in your big, beautiful life. We are getting to after. We're helping you to just navigate those little obstacles one tap at a time. And we'll see you next time. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.